Good evening. I'm Kate Chartner, Chair of the Concord Historic Districts Commission, and welcome to the October 22nd, 2025 meeting of the HDC. Tonight, we will review two new applications and one continued application and one item under other business. We are conducting this meeting online in accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. The public may access this call through both telephone and video conferencing. Members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions following the petitioner's presentation and questions from the commission. To do so, please raise your hand in the participant function of the Zoom meeting platform. If you are calling in and cannot use the Zoom platform, you may raise your hand by dialing *9. Our host will mute microphones of those not speaking, and in order to preserve bandwidth, may need to turn off video, with the exception of the commissioners, the host, and the current applicant. I will call on commissioners for comments on an application once it's been presented, and then open the meeting for public comment. Once there are no more public comments, I will ask for a motion from the commission to continue to approve with conditions, or to reject, then ask for a second and conduct a roll call vote. Once the commission has acted on an application, the applicant is free to leave the meeting. So right now I'll do a roll call for the members, and all of tonight's members will be voting. Let's see, Dennis Fiore.
I'm here.
Walter Clay.
Here.
Timothy Whitney.
Here.
And Louis Caldarella.
Here.
And I'm here, Kate Chartner. So there we go. So let's, first up is, I think the Tuttle livery, right? The Walden Crossing, 45 Walden Street, to add a sign. I see a WT. Is that Wade Tang?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'm opening the nail salons. Yeah, we try to get the farm side.
You tried to get what?
We try to get the sideboard for the business side.
A new sign, yeah.
Yeah, the side is made by the wood material. The mattress is 94-inch length, 17-inch the weight. The leather material is acrylic.
Let's hold on one sec. Let's see what your application is. There we go.
Yes.
Okay. Beauty secrets. All right. Length. And you know when to install it. Okay. All right, those are very helpful photographs. Thank you. And you'll use a nail gun to install it, your note said?
Yes, correct.
Do you happen to have any pictures of the signs it would be next to or near other signs that are up?
It actually, when you go on the picture I submit on the file, you can see the left and right.
Okay, and could you pull that back up just so we have some context?
Yes, just 1 second.
Thank you.
And I could bring up Google Maps too if you'd like to see that.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
hard to
right.
see.
That's the right side. You see it. We see it now. That's the right side.
Hmm.
And then that's the left side.
Oh, I see. Uh-huh.
So I'm on the middle.
Okay. Great, thank you.
That's the middle, yeah.
Yeah, that's where you'll go.
Give me a minute for the
Sure.
Google Maps. Sorry. So actually, is it on this side?
I don't see anything if that's what you're asking.
Oh, you don't. I'm sorry. Here it is.
Thank
Do
you.
I have the right side of the building?
Yes. Yep. So.
It-
Yeah, so
Is
it'll
it
go
this
there.
area?
Yep. I mean, one thing about this space, we've had applications here before and it's not a soffit. Tim, what's that called? That space where the sign is going in? I mean, it's kind of predicated.
Fascia, I guess. Fascia.
Yeah, the fascia. So, I mean, because of its size, it sort of, almost enforces sign size standards. But there's also an issue of color and material. Let's see, Wade, could you tell us again, the sign is wood
Yeah, it's wood.
and it's carved, or is it painted? I mean, it's all, or is it
Yeah, the base, you can see the base, the light blue color is painted. And then you see the leather, those leather is made by the acrylic.
Acrylic?
It's acrylic.
Okay, so the letters are sort of adhered, they're stuck onto the sign?
Yeah, it's glue on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I think that covers that. So, I'll ask for some comment from commissioners.
Do we hold I guess I shouldn't call these secondary signs, but they're not on the main street. They're off the beaten path.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of secondary in the building. Do we hold those to the same standards that we hold all the other signs?
We have, I mean, to my memory, particularly this one's almost as visible if it were on a street, if you're coming
Mm-hmm.
from Main Street going toward Tricon, where that is, it's pretty open. So,
So with that in mind, we really don't endorse vinyl lettering that I remember. I didn't look at the sign bylaw or the section before I came.
well,
I think vinyl lettering is one of the things we are in favor of.
that is correct.
It's discouraged, is what it
Discouraged.
says.
Okay, that's what I'm remembering, right?
I wonder about fonts too. Do we have any cursive fonts in town?
Fiorillo's had cursive and changed to block lettering because they found people were no longer reading cursive well. Oh, it's true.
Or writing it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I have a couple of questions if we're sitting here. One is, how does the size of the sign compare to the signs on either side? And that's sort of the big one. The other question is, Mr. Tang, do you already own the sign?
What was the second question, Walter?
Does he own, do we already own the sign?
Oh, has the sign already been made and is it up?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
And if you do Google Earth again, can we actually see the signs that are on either side?
Here it comes. Can you see it?
No.
Not yet.
Oh, no. Sorry. Here it is. All right, so it looks as if there's nothing, like nothing there, if this is the right area.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Mhm.
It'd be nice to see the context, to see what the other signs look like.
If we could kind of
Yeah.
go into the center of the parking lot, is that possible?
Let me see.
Yeah, that would be good if you could keep going. Oops.
Yep. In terms
Well-
Too far.
Too far, right?
Wait a second. Oh,
That's all right.
wait a second.
Is the proposed sign, did I hear 8 feet long, 96 inches?
Was it that long? I didn't catch.
I think it'll let me go into the parking lot.
Hmm.
Huh.
And
down.
stay right there. Yeah, there you go. And just zoom in from there if you
Okay.
could.
Yeah, from there, that would be good. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see the strop and blade,
Yeah.
and I can't see what's to the left.
They all look about the same size as his sign, I think, don't they?
Is the one on the right behind the pole, is that the strop and blade thing?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
That's probably it. Just guessing, it's probably close to an 8-foot sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we seem to have kind of general reservations about material or questions among ourselves. The material.
Well, we're also being told two different materials. It says on the picture PVC, and we've just been told that it's wood.
Right, I took it to be that it was PVC letters on wood.
Okay.
But you know, and then is the color, anyone have any questions about that or?
Is there another sign? 7.8 feet.
Let's see, yeah, 7.8 feet with 1.5, yeah, 1.2. Material is PVC board. Okay, so it's not wood.
So it's a AZAC kind of material.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which we are coming around to approve. And
It's true, we have had,
Right. That's not been a problem.
yeah, I think the Lacoste Gallery had a sign a few years ago that was a material that was not wood or aluminum, I think. Somewhere on that block. So
So are there other blue signs farther along on that building? It looked to me like there was, but
well, the handicap signs are kind of a bright blue.
that's true. They are.
Yeah. You know, the other colors are kind of muted. And I'm not sure if that's just was, you know, shop owner's choice or also guided by us.
Yeah, I'd like to see it more contextualized, more in keeping with the signs on either side of it.
Yeah, I'd like
Yeah.
to know what the other signs are
Yeah.
too. Like, are they carved? Are they, what's, I have a little concern about the cursive as well. I mean, we're basically saying we're not, there's nothing encouraging cursive in the requirements. And it's not a carved letter either, so.
Right. So,
And the blue is a bit intense. I mean, I don't know if they would consider a white background with blue lettering just to quiet it down.
Or grade blue to sort of mute it.
Yeah. Muted blue.
okay, so I think, the applicant's probably a new business owner to Concord, would maybe suggesting a conversation perhaps with, say, Billy Smith be sensible, or, I mean, because,
Billy Crosby. Yeah.
oh, sorry, Billy Smith is my,
Yeah.
contractor in Rhode Island. I just
Close.
wrote another, sorry about that, thank you. I think that might be helpful to, give Wade the context of kind of what we do, because, But,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's some, can't force them, obviously, it's just a suggestion.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Tang, are you there?
I am here.
Are you following this? So, the commission pretty uniformly feels the sign isn't quite, where it should be or could be for that building, in this district, which I understand can, probably be, sound unfamiliar and vague to you. So we would suggest you talk to a sign specialist in town who's done a lot of work for our applicants. And maybe get some advice from him.
Okay.
You don't have to, but I think, and then we would continue your application. So just hold off on it till the next time, for you to, get some more information for yourself.
You want to list our concerns, Kate, so make sure he's clear with those.
Right.
Sure. So it doesn't have to be Billy Crosby, whose name we'll give you, but I would think you would want to talk to somebody in Concord, who's done signs before and will be familiar with the, historic district's sign bylaws, the regulations for them governing signs. Right now, specifically, the questions you'd want to ask them about that we've raised are, the intensity of the color, the material of the sign, and
Font. Yeah.
the font for the beauty secrets part.
Well, are we also suggesting raised or carved letters? Or that'd be the discussion with the sign
Yeah.
person, right?
Well,
Yes, the raised or carved letters, when you are looking into what the sign should be made of, those two concerns go together.
I would suggest that he take a look at the signs again closely on either side, like the strop and blade, and sort of use those as a model for what he does. I don't know I don't know whether they're two different types of signs, but there's some examples he can take a look at that have been approved.
Yes, that's a good point.
And it'd be good to see if they just took photos of other signs on that side. At least we could understand what's there.
Mhm.
we can also individually do or an unorganized personal site visit and take a look, walk up
Yeah.
and down either side and see what's there.
Mm-hmm.
See how alien it might be in context.
That would be good.
Uh,
I intend to do.
so do you have any questions about what you might want to look into before our next meeting?
So, by the way, so the color, what about I switch the color to the black, like black for the base color, and then the white letter? Is it better or?
Did you say black?
Yeah, black for the base color for the.
Probably not. We don't have a lot of black signs in town.
But maybe look at the historic colors that we have on, too. Like the blue it's not the
No.
blue that's the problem, it's the,
It's
Type-
not that it's a color, yeah.
Okay.
and Blue Mercury, there's another sign on Walden Street that's blue, you can look at. The Blue Mercury sign, that's blue.
Just a less intense blue, I think, would be okay.
Yes, yeah. Other questions that we can clarify for you?
What about the material? Do I need to like get the wood base or PVC board is fine?
PVC and
We've done
AZAC,
a bunch of PVC signs, yeah.
yeah, the, we have done, yeah, and we have allowed signs of PVC. The issue there is what the lettering is like on the sign. Is it either kind of carved into it, or the letters depressed into the sign, or raised on the sign? And that's and either is acceptable. It's just a matter of having the right material that will look like it's wood if the letters are raised or depressed.
Yeah, the letter is raised. Yeah. It's not the vinyl. It's not the vinyl stick on it. The letter is raised on.
The letters are raised.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. But it's the font, which, the writing of the,
Oh, the writing the font. Oh, I
and then
see.
that's the font, the shape of the letters is the font, and the intensity of the blue. We're feeling the combination of the two, the size is
Mhm.
perfect. The combination of the two is not quite in keeping with the surrounding signs.
Oh, I see.
So I think
Okay.
be to kind of
Yeah, I'll do some change.
go
Okay.
take a look. And also the office that you filed the application with, either Ann Clifford or Kim Johnson, can give you the name of someone you can talk to. You don't necessarily have to get a whole new sign from him or anything, but he can probably give you some advice, Billy Crosby.
Okay.
They can give you that name and contact. I think it's okay that I suggest that, or somebody else, but
Done now.
one who comes now. Yeah, exactly. Double down then.
But the thing is that we already put the sign on. We waiting for the stable come for inspection by this Friday. Though. We already put the sign on already.
The sign's
So
already
if
up.
not, yeah, it's already on. So if not, we have to take it down though.
That's correct. It is not approved right now. All right, if there's no further questions at the moment, I'd like to ask for a motion.
I move that we continue this application from, I have to figure out, from 45, from Wade Tang 45 for 45 Walden Street for a sign until the next meeting. Is that it?
Yes.
Second,
Yeah, we're considering it, yeah. Second, please.
second,
Thanks, Tim. I'll go around for a vote. Louis,
Aye.
Walter,
aye,
Dennis,
Aye.
Tim,
aye.
and I'm an aye. So, Mr. Tang, we're gonna hold off on on approving your sign or not approving your sign, until our next meeting in 3 weeks. That should give you time to, get a better feel for, what is allowed in the area where your business is. Feel free to call the planning office for any questions regarding it. They can help you,
Okay.
because we want to help you get your sign and get your business rolling. But we just need to get this right.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the next meeting date is November 12th.
Okay. All right, so thank you for coming before us
Thank you.
tonight. And we'll see you in 3 weeks.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, good night. Okay. Moving on to the Concord Free Library, represented by Jeff Adams, to install 40 new storm windows. All right, so good evening, Jeff.
Thanks, Kate. Again, I'm Jeff Adams, and I'm a trustee on the Library Corporation Board. And I'm here to review an application to install storm windows on 40 of the windows on the front section of the library, which was completed in 1933 and designed by my favorite architect, Harry Little. The purpose of the storm windows is to protect the original single pane sashes, which are now 92 years old. Many of the sashes are quite large and the details are delicate, with the joints on the sashes having dried out. We've needed to reglaze these windows twice in the last 14 years. In addition, the storm windows will lessen heat loss in the winter and reduce heat gain in the summer, improving the building's energy efficiency and supporting our sustainability goals to cut energy use at the library. Let's take a look, and if you can shift to the pictures. And I think the way the recent pictures were added, we may scroll down to the fourth picture and we'll come back to the first three. Yeah, perfect. Starting there. So these are images of some of the windows we're referring to, and you can see how large they are. The sash details, the sticking or the muntins in the sashes is quite petite, although it's really gorgeous with an OG sticking on the interior and glazing on the outside. And you can scroll up a little bit more. This shows many of the windows again on the front side of the building. And you might be able to go up a little more. And this includes the lower level windows, which is the top right picture. Okay, and if we scroll back to the first three pictures, the storm windows that we're proposing are similar to the windows that exist on the Fowler Library in West Concord. So this is a picture of that window. And if you go up two pictures, one more right there, there's another image of the existing storm windows. Thank you. On Fowler. And these were installed in Fowler back in 1996 for the same reason. We're seeking approval for the main library. And then the second picture is an image of the storm windows on the townhouse, and they were installed not too long ago for the same reasons. And they're similar quality sashes. So I'm glad to answer any questions or offer any more information.
Dennis, you love a good window.
That seems pretty straightforward to me. But is Fowler in a historic district?
It is.
Yeah.
And I get my boundaries of West Concord confused. So so those windows were approved by this commission at one point.
At one point, I wasn't engaged with that, but
No, I wasn't either. But obviously, if those windows are approved there, it's sort of sets the standard.
and similarly, they were approved in the townhouse not too long ago during that renovation.
That's true, right? Yeah.
And those are aluminum as well?
Yes.
How long will
Thank
it
you.
take? Oh,
Pardon
Go
me,
ahead,
they
Jeff.
have to be brown because if many of us will recall the pictures on the townhouse, the colors, pardon me, changed substantially. I think
Yeah.
it's pretty cool that they match the color on the storms.
Mhm.
Are all of these going to be white to match the white casings and sashes and all that business,
Yes.
Jeff? And some of those windows you showed, like it looked like there was a mix of fixed and double hung and maybe a casement, I'm not sure. And there's a crossbar on these storms somewhere usually, right? So just wondering,
Yeah. Thank you for asking.
where do you decide where to put the crossbar if it's not a double hung? Maybe it doesn't matter, but I'm just.
No, it does. And that's an astute question. Thank you. That's referred to often as a meeting rail where the sashes divide between each other. And that bar that is necessary given the size of these storm windows will align with the meeting rail of the existing sashes.
I'm just curious. So Anne, could you go back to the photos of the existing windows and just scroll slowly through them?
Let's see. All right.
Yeah, so like that one on the left, Jeff, is that a double hung or is that just a big fixed one?
It's a double hung window and it
Wow.
has dissimilar panes on the top and bottom, but the meeting rail is a little bit thicker in this image, and that's where the division will go on the storm glass.
So you can do a storm that's just 2 sheets of glass for that size, that height of window?
Yep.
Wow.
We actually solicited 3 different estimates from companies who are experienced in this kind of application, and they were all comfortable with that.
And obviously, I assume then the windows on the right is a double hung as well, right?
Yes.
And could you just scroll down just a little bit more and yeah, same thing here. That's a little fixed one on the left, but there's a little Oculus round window way up high. Does that get the same treatment?
It does. Thanks for seeing that. That's a really cool window. You have to stand back to be able to appreciate it.
So
Many of
every
the-
window is getting like the windows in the porch on the left, that's a very high window that gets it. Every single window gets one of these
on the
storms.
front section of the library. The windows on other sections of the library were installed during recent renovations, and they're thermopane windows on the back
Okay.
section in the most recent children's library. And many of these sashes, because of their delicate condition, we've been trying to preserve them, are actually fixed. We don't open and close them anymore.
Yeah.
Hard to contain the HVAC system inside. But this is particularly important because it will add a significant layer of protection to the outside of these original windows.
So once those storms go on, it's not like they're going to be operated from the inside, just because they're fixed windows, right?
That's correct. They have clips, petite little clips on the outside that can be removed to allow washing of the windows or repair
Okay.
if one were to break or something like that.
Right. It can get, I know, I was just looking actually on Concord Art has fixed storm windows over double hungs that have been sealed shut, sort of semi-permanently. And can be deterioration because of that unvented space, between the storm and the window because there's just no air getting in there. So I'm glad you can get in there and deal with it.
Yeah, in these particular windows, there's a weep space for air on the underside of these particular, on the very bottom of these windows.
Little notch.
Otherwise, as you suggest, the heat can build up too much, condensation can form, and so on. So we've addressed that concern that sometimes happens on fixed storm windows that are sealed shut.
And who is your chosen supplier for this? You mentioned 3.
Ocean Glass, that has a lot of experience with these types of windows. They were kind of the middle price, but we were most impressed by their focus on the detailing and willingness to template these windows and whatnot.
Yeah, I did a 1773 house that had arched windows, rather unusual, and we had custom storms.
Yeah, it's a challenge to
Yeah.
find somebody who will do a good job with that and focus on those details. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments for Jeff?
No, I think I totally approve, but it's an interesting concept that historically it wouldn't have had storms, and yet to be purely preservationist, they need storms to save them,
Yeah.
So it is a real preservationist effort, even though it's not technically,
To save them economically. I mean, there certainly can be redone every 5 years if they're left naturally. Yeah.
All right, I'll open it to public comment. Is there anyone in the studio audience who would like to comment or inquire about the library's windows? Oh, Sandy. You have your hand up.
Hi, Kate. Sandy Smith, 25 Academy Lane. I just want to be sure that the library is planning to match the color, because the application says white, and the description of the proposed new windows says white, but there are a lot of different whites, and this color is on the creamy side of white, and I think we want to be sure that the colors are matched carefully. And I'm also a little concerned about the reflective nature of the glass, and whether we can get a glass that's not as reflective as some of the ones that were shown on the Fowler.
Thank you. Those are good concerns.
Yeah, I can thank you, Sandy. Those are two good questions. And in terms of the reflective issue, earlier generations of storm windows often had a low E coating on them, which can reflect unusual colors at a certain angle. These do not have that. And our particular windows, at least on some of them, have a low E coating on the inside to control fading of artwork. In terms of the color of the windows, we've actually held a sample up of the white aluminum against the existing color. And as Sandy suggests, there are many whites. These are very similar in color, and a baked-on factory finish in white is very close to the color of our exterior trim. So we were comfortable with that. Thank you for asking.
Jeff, do you know which white by any chance is on the windows?
Yeah, it's standard white on the aluminums, and I don't actually have the name of the exact color of the windows, but as I indicated, we did wonder about that. So in the interviews with the storm window folks, we asked for samples and looked at them, and everybody involved was comfortable of the similar colors.
Are any of those samples around for
But we can get them, yeah.
the district? If
I
anyone,
think that that's it can be very. I think we might want to look at that.
Yeah.
Because very glossy. Everybody's whites are perceive them differently. With all due respect, Jeff, and I think we should just take a look to see a sample against whatever white that existing painted casing and sash or whatever is, to see that we agree with the assessment of the library.
Sure, we can do that.
Because there's so many windows, and you just don't want these things popping out at all. They need to blend in.
okay. So if you could get a sample to the planning office, perhaps some of us can have a little field trip, take the sample to the library, see it.
Either that, or what I'll do is install it on one of the windows. We had a short 12-inch section that we looked at, a couple different sizes from the vendors who came, but I can actually put it up on the windows, take a picture of where it is, leave that information on site. And as Walter suggested on the previous applicant, you can make your own private journey there to take a look.
Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you. I think that would be very helpful, and
Be glad to do that.
thanks. Any other public comment or questions? All right. So if we were to see the sample, we'd have to continue. You have to continue this. So I imagine you probably want to get the order going.
Well, I think we'd be comfortable. It'll take me perhaps a week to get the sample back from the vendor. Be safe. But then I'll put it up right away, take a picture, get that information over to the planning department. And if we were continued to the next meeting, I think that would be okay. It's a perfectly legitimate question.
Okay. All righty. Then could I have a motion, please?
I just wanted to say quickly that in cases like this, not to hold up applicants where we seem to be saying this is a good thing to do, we're just concerned about the color. that we allow that to be an administrative decision
Yeah.
rather than holding the application for a whole nother 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
You okay with that, Ann?
It's an administrative decision, but with us going to look at it.
Exactly, and giving her our comments on it. And then rather than having to come back again, we can just move the application ahead.
Yeah, that's good. Everyone I think we're all comfortable with that.
Thank you.
So how about a motion?
Someone
Dennis?
else's turn.
I move that we approve the aluminum storm windows as presented for 129 Main Street with the understanding that a sample of the proposed painted aluminum will be installed in an existing window opening for commission approval. And ultimately will be handled, the final approval will be handled administratively. How does that sound?
That's really, that was deft work, Tim. That was good.
I was
Okay.
losing it at
Who
the
wants to
end.
second and say what Tim said?
I second it. Because
Yeah,
you're
I had
second.
Dennis.
Okay,
Getting there.
I'll go around for a vote. Walter,
Aye.
Louis,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
and I am an aye. So, thank you, Jeff, for coming and spelling that out. Thanks, Sandy, for your observations. And we look forward to our field trip to the library.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Good night.
Night.
Okay, now those were our two new items, and our continued hearing for tonight is for 340 Main Street, where happily all of us were at the site visit today. Equally happily, Ben Herder thought to put up a tent that we could congregate under, so we were slightly less drenched. Bill Hewitt was also at the site visit, and he just left me, but couldn't be here tonight. He left me some thoughts from this morning, which I'll share later. Take it away, Ben and Betsy.
Great. Thank you, Kate. Yeah, and I think Melissa Anderson is also on the line here. Yeah, thanks again for coming out this morning. As we know, it was kind of a wet morning, so I'm glad we had the opportunity to stand under the tent and review some of the revisions to the plan. So what we'd like to share with everybody here tonight are some of the revisions that we've made to the proposal in response to some of the remarks that were made at the last meeting on October 1st. We believe that we've approached this in a sensitive manner, and worth noting that it always has been and continues to be one of the core principles of this project is to preserve the integrity of the existing 1870s volume that is facing Main Street. So with that said, I will share my screen if I'm able to. Let's see here, there we go. Okay, can everybody see the front of the house?
No.
There we go.
Okay, great. So this is what we were looking at this morning from Main Street, though with bluer skies here in this photo. The area that was, in primary focus for all of us this morning was this eastern facade. The south elevation is what faces Main Street. And a majority of the proposed work that we are presenting tonight is happening along that eastern elevation. So here's the existing view of the house from Main Street. And we provided a rendered view from that same location on the sidewalk, looking towards the north to give you an indication of that change. So as you can see here, the 1780s volume up front here, sorry, 1870s volume up front here is intact. Last meeting, we discussed whether or not to include 2 new windows on the eastern elevation of this front volume here. And since that initial conversation, we've had conversations internally and with Melissa and Chris Anderson, and felt that it was the right thing to do to remove those 2 windows in the front volume. So now the proposal really does have this front volume, the front 1870s volume, as an untouched portion of the project. And I'll go through the elevations, starting with the south here. The elevation on the top is the existing condition, and then the elevation on the bottom is the proposed elevation from the same vantage point to give you a point of comparison. What we've also identified on each of these slides, which I want to highlight, is this text in blue to the left here. There were some questions that were brought up at our last meeting about the number of openings that were being proposed on this project, and so to help clarify that, we've added in some text here to explain that. So on the south elevation, again, not much happening here because we're preserving that front facade here. But what you can see, at least in elevation here, is that in the proposed elevation on the bottom, we do have a little bit of work happening on the eastern side of the house. And that is a replacement of, well, a rebuilding of this vestibule here. It's currently on a pier foundation, so we're pouring a new foundation underneath this, rebuilding the wall, and taking out the 2 existing windows on this facade and putting in 2 new windows to match the rest of the new windows. In addition is this sunroom addition on the right-hand side here. On this particular elevation, we have 3 new windows shown here. And so if you're following the count on the left, the window or opening count on the left, what we are removing are 2 windows, which are coming out of this vestibule. And what we're adding to it are 2 new windows, replacing those 2 existing ones, and then 3 additional ones for a net gain of 3 on this particular elevation. And I'll keep going around and try to highlight some of the changes that have been made here. Okay, so now we're looking at the east elevation. Again, the 1870s volume is on the left-hand side of the screen. And as you can see, it matches existing to propose. The windows that were here and here have been removed. So on the east elevation in the center, you can see in this same rebuilt vestibule here, we're replacing a French door with a window. And then in the sunroom addition here, we have a bank of 5 windows along that elevation. And I'll speak primarily to the window changes here because these are the changes that were made since last time. So underneath this gable form over here, if you recall previously, we had 3 common sized windows across this facade, and it felt a little out of proportion I think was one of the comments that was made, as well as it was somewhat monotonous. And so it was encouraged for us to explore some variety across that facade. So what we did in response to that was to introduce a smaller window that is complementary to the proportions of the other openings on this facade, but made it a little bit smaller. It does happen to be a water closet space, so functionally it doesn't need it for the program to be the same size as the others. That's the major change to the windows, to the openings on this elevation. What you can see in blue here, which I don't think was indicated in the last round of elevations, are where the existing openings are being removed. So you can see this opening here. This again was the French door that we're replacing with a window. This is a French door that is in the wall beyond the screen porch, beyond this front wall of the screen porch, that is being removed and being replaced with a biparting French door. This window in the second floor is being removed from under the eave. In the bay window, there are currently 2 French doors, biparting French doors, and we're replacing those 2 openings with 2 windows. And then finally, on the north side of this elevation, where you can see in the top elevation, and as you saw today on site, there is a roof deck, an open air roof deck in the second floor. And the intention of this project is to enclose this roof deck and what is a sleeping porch, a screened in sleeping porch beyond, and make those, internalize both of those spaces into the interior environment of the house. So then on that exterior wall, we're introducing 2 new windows on the second floor and changing the 1 opening from the existing wall below to 2 openings to relate to the windows above and emphasize that verticality of this corner element. And then back to the left, you can see that the net gain openings here is only 6. And we have 5 of those 6 are in the sunroom here in new construction. And then we have 2 additional ones in the new construction of the roof deck infill. We can come back to this, but I'll keep going around the elevations for the moment. On the north elevation, really nothing has changed here, but what we are indicating are, again, where the openings have been removed. So behind the screen porch wall here on that back wall, there's a bank of 3 windows there, and we're replacing them with 3 new windows with a sill that's lower that relates to the other windows in that space. In the roof deck in the second floor, again, same as on the eastern side, eastern elevation, proposing 2 windows for that corner window expression. And then finally, where we currently have a sleeping porch opening out towards the river, we're infilling that with a bank of 3 windows that more or less relates to the proportion of that current opening. And that adds 5 new openings to this elevation. Again, 3 are in the sunroom and 2 are in the roof deck infill, which are both new construction. And then lastly, the west elevation. So we heard the commission last 3 weeks ago. We had suggested a handful of additional windows on the northern side of the west elevation. So this portion of the elevation over here. Previously, we had in the second floor, we had, in addition to the center window, we had one flanking it on the left, one flanking it on the right. And then on the first floor, we had a pair of windows that one was in the center directly underneath the ridge line, and one was to the side. So somewhat throwing off the symmetry of this space. We felt that by removing these side windows above and removing the second window below, it helped to quiet down this elevation significantly. And in effect, it's not much of a change from what's there today, where we have 3 windows from the first floor up to the attic, same as what we're proposing here, other than a change to the sill height of the window on the first floor. And then again, for the sleeping porch infill, we're proposing 1 window up there as opposed to the 2 that were previously proposed. So on this elevation, really, it's only a net gain of 1 window. And so, again, I mean, this is just, doing some math here, but the net gain openings that are being proposed here is approximately 15. And I say approximately because I'll go back to this north elevation, replacing 1 opening for 3 windows. It's not exactly apples to apples, but there's a net gain of 15 openings based on, this math that we're presenting to you tonight. And there are 9 of those windows, 11 of those windows are in the sunroom. 11 of those openings are in the sunroom in the new construction in here. And then 4 of those are in the infill of the second floor roof deck. So in effect, there is no net change to the amount of openings in the existing shell of the building. The addition of openings is all happening within the new construction. And then lastly, and we can come back to this too, but lastly, I just also wanted to share this. This was something else that we talked about on site this morning. This was to show some of the other neighboring properties along Main Street that also have sunrooms. All of these homes along Main Street, a lot of them from a similar age as 340, some a little bit newer, some contemporary of 340 Main Street. And all of these homes have some form of an integrated sunroom on them. And we show this just to show how common this element of architecture was at the time, and obviously continues to be in this part of town along this part of Main Street. And so I guess with that, I'd love to hear some commentary from the commission.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ben. Like I said, Bill Hewitt was at the site visit, but wasn't able to come to the meeting, but sent me some thoughts, which I'll share. Thought from the site visit, I thought they were responsive to the comments we made in the earlier meetings in a thoughtful way. I think the new east elevation is fine. The view from Main Street is not diminished. Moreover, the fence and the evergreen tree hide much of the change. They are improving the front elevation by returning the 9/9 window on the first floor east side to 2/2, matching what you see from Main Street on the original house. The north elevation changes are an improvement. The second story sleeping porch with its sort of Georgian railing are ahistoric and look like a gaping hole. Were I voting tonight, I'd vote to approve. Bill Hewitt. So.
Yeah, I would second Bill's comments in terms of the river view of the sleeping porch, which is gaping hole is a good way to call it, because the portions of the new windows are much better. I think in general, the back view of the house is sort of correcting a lot of the 2001 edition, I think.
Mhm.
I have a question about the roofing material. Are you using standing seam metal on the sunroom?
Correct. Yes,
Is
and
that
this
is that
vestibule
on
here.
any other element on the building? For instance, the bay windows?
It is. It's actually on the current vestibule right here. And it matches the copper, leaders and or gutters and downspouts.
Is it copper? Is that the material?
Yes, red copper.
That'd be nice.
So it's going to mellow to a green at some point. Hopefully.
Well, I don't. It does that less and less these days with the new copper. It does go to a deep, rich brown. I think the copper that is on this roof here that you saw today has been there for 25 years, and it's a dark brown, no hint of green patina.
But it does mellow. It doesn't stay glowingly copper for very long.
Correct.
I have direct experience with doing this. Granted, not with the most modern copper, but not that long ago, and it does mellow out. It is a sight to behold for the first year and a half or two, but it does soften up reasonably quickly, so I wouldn't be concerned about that. So I did have a question though. Ben, you're saying that the sunrooms are a common element in all these houses that you were referencing?
Yeah, I can pull that
Are
up.
they original to the construction of those houses, or is it just that they have been added over time in the neighborhood?
Well, that's a good question, Walter. I believe on these Dutch colonials that abut 340 Main Street, those were original elements to those two houses. I don't know if 350, which is on the other side, was an original sunroom to the house. But in a similar way, it's right on the side of the house, set back from the front facade.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
An interesting citation without necessarily having it backed up well. But I'm cool. What I wanted to say about it is going out for the site visit for me was really an important thing to do. I'm struck by physically being there at how less, I suppose, palatial and park-like in some ways the setting is. The renderings here made it look like it was set way back and sort of imposing, and I was just going, why do they need to add this to that? And there's already so much there. The scale being introduced to it physically right up front is much less imposing. So I was much relieved by that. I think I was the primary critic of that sunroom last time, and I'm pretty much at peace with it. If I were really in charge of the world, I would not put the sunroom on for the same reasons that I was saying before. But I am not nearly as set in my opposition, I guess, to it as I was last time around. I think most of the other changes that you incorporated after our criticism are welcome and extremely well done. I think everything is in balance and looks great. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone
I
have?
have a couple of thoughts. I would agree pretty much with everything that's been said. I think you've been very thoughtful, both you and the owner, about your attempt at your work on this and our comments and addressing those. So we really appreciate that. I have two comments or questions. If you could go to the east elevation.
Sure.
I think it's the east, right? Yeah, it's east.
Yep.
So, the elevation with the exposed chimney and the sunroom, and this is hardly a deal breaker, but I just want to make this comment is, I think the reason I was getting a little, and I didn't make a comment on the chimney before, but the chimney, that detail of the chimney being exposed and not buried in the house, it's really more of like Queen Anne's shingle style kind of stuff. It wasn't. So I've got a little bit of an issue with that chimney, and it's related to the sun porch. What it's doing is calling attention to that particular gable, and generally, in the field of adding to some precious historic house, anything beyond the word subordinate is usually the word that historic preservation is used, so that you don't detract from the house. And I find that the chimney, the exposed chimney in the breakfast room are competing with that nice, simple, bay window, two-story bay window on the house. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's a deal breaker, but I just want to make that. But I think you've done so many good things in this house, and that's the one thing that pops out to me. So I'm just going to mention that as a comment. I prefer that the chimney was just buried inside the house, and I'm sure that causes all kinds of complexities. But that would be my choice, I think, if push came to shove. The other question I have is, there's been talk about the existing fence, and do we keep this as a requirement for screening, or do we put it in the category of required screening as part of this application, or not? And I would suggest that we not put the fence in as a requirement, because I think the house would look actually lovely without that fence. I think the fence is a little bit of blocking the house. So if the homeowner wants to keep the fence, fine, but I wouldn't put that in as a requirement for screening, because there's a lot of good things that are going on in this house. And I think the house would actually look better if you could see the length of the house and a view to the water and all that business. So that's a comment or question. And then I will stop there.
Tim, what do you think about, as we have done before, stipulating that something in the place of the evergreen remain? I know the evergreen's not.
What are we trying to screen?
I don't know, but it's people
The
have mentioned.
gazebo.
Well,
Today-
there's.
yeah, I mean, today at the site visit, people said, "Oh, well, this isn't actually. It's farther back than we thought, and recedes more than we thought, and you can't really see it much anyway." I'm just.
I guess I would say I don't see the need to screen anything.
Mhm.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think they've done a nice job, and everything will look great. And the fence is a bit of an aberration. It's pretty high, and I don't know. So it's a question of.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, Tim.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, the owners have two dogs that roam the side yard and backyard. You might have heard them barking today. So having a fence there is an important feature for that. And
Ben,
they just happen to be
leave-
the existing fences.
They can leave the fence. I'm just saying for our purposes, we can require to keep that fence. And
Right.
I'm saying, I don't think we should require to keep that fence. You can keep it up if you want, but that shouldn't be part of I wouldn't say that should be, in
Okay.
perpetuity, that fence has to be there, because
Yeah.
if they want to take it down in 2 years because for whatever reason, they could do that without detriment to the property, in my opinion.
You're not mandating that it comes down.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand. I'm just saying.
We just keep the fence out of the discussion because it's there, it's existing, and the homeowners can take it down whenever, if and when they want. But
Mhm.
we're not putting it in as a requirement.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments about the chimney from any other commissioners?
Yeah, I'll say, I agree with Tim. That was, I'd asked questions about the chimney last time around as well.
Well, I have to say, when you look at
Not a, so, sorry, not a deal breaker, but it does, the bay window, you know, is a defining feature on the original house, and having that from this view, certainly in such close proximity, doesn't necessarily supersede it, but it certainly challenges it.
Mhm. I will say, you know, to Tim's comment before, or question before, to internalize the chimney, it does cause some issues with a bedroom that's directly inside of that space. So part of the reason for keeping it on the exterior wall.
Yeah, I assumed it was a plan-driven thing.
Yeah.
I think you
Yeah, would you be happier with it being less ornate where it's visible?
it's definitely subordinate, wouldn't you say, Tim? When you look at the
Well, I
decoration.
mean, Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, but that chimney does not have much detail to it. I mean,
It does not. No.
it's mimicking another chimney, and it's got very subtle
Oops.
ins and outs. It's not an ornate chimney by any means.
Here, I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see the cap of this chimney and the one that's closer to the river. So this is the existing chimney on the rear of the house towards the river, and so the intention is to match that detailing, that level of detailing, with this new chimney, which both pale in comparison to the highly ornate brick masonry that's happening in the 1870s.
Right. I think that's the right approach.
Is the plan to paint it or keep it natural brick? What color are you looking at?
Keep it natural brick to match the other chimneys.
We would not recommend painting anyway.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's a question.
All right, any other questions? Or I'll open it to public comment, see if any neighbors have any questions. Public comment for 340 Main Street.
Louis, does your cat have a comment?
Yeah, I saw some movement and then I realized it was the cat.
Great.
Okay, it doesn't appear that we have any. Okay. So if no commissioners have further questions on this project, could we have a motion?
I would like to.
Sorry, can I ask one question? There's a lot of work going on here, and we require essentially construction documents level final details to review, and just so we know what eaves and the railing, the new railing on the side, on the west side, and all that business. What are you thinking of regarding that?
In regards
Are you
to
thinking
the
this is-
CD
are you
level
thinking this is-
detailing?
Yeah.
Well, we can certainly, submit, so like, the eave detailing on the sunroom here. Oops, I'm trying to zoom in and it's not working. Well, okay. The eave detailing on the sunroom here and the rebuilt vestibule here is matching the detail of the existing bay over here. So it's really in concert with existing context there.
Is everything, all the casings, everything matching existing?
Yeah.
Or do we, is it documented that way somehow so that?
It is. We have in these notes. Let's see here. I'm just trying to find the note now, but yeah, here we go. All new windows are to be Pella wood windows to match existing windows. Okay, that's the window. Well, that is the intention, Tim, to match the existing
Yeah,
trim.
I mean, this may be just, again, administrative and not hold
Yeah.
up any approvals, but, you know where I'm going. We just want to be sure
Yeah.
you're doing what we think you're
Yeah.
doing. I'm sure you are, but you know, it's just.
Yeah, good comment. And, you know, if that needed to be a condition of your determination, that could be made. That is the intention. So
Does that sound okay, Kate? Do we just have them submit construction document details administratively?
Yes. I think for a project of this size, on every
With,
facade.
with the intent that all of the detailing is matching existing. It's a very generalized comment. I guess you've got to, if it's on the documents, then I guess that covers it, but.
Yeah. Ben, how far along are you in details and plan?
we're at the tail end of schematic design here. So the detailing is the next step here.
So you don't have construction plans? Yeah.
We don't, not yet.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, so
We wanted to get your feedback before we got into
Certainly a
that.
wise thing to do, I understand.
Yeah.
is there any reason you would come back again, Ben? That you know of?
No, I
Okay.
think unless there was a request for us to come back, I think there's no other changes that are intended beyond this point. It's just developing the details.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll take a stab at it. I motion that we approve the documents submitted for 340 Main Street. With the understanding that final construction document details will be submitted and reviewed administratively for compliance with what was presented tonight.
I second.
Thank you. Dennis,
Yes.
you're muted, I think, Dennis.
Oh, am I?
Yeah. Okay, there you are now.
Yep.
Okay. Walter,
Yep.
Sorry.
Lewis,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
and I am an I, so the ayes have it. Thank you very much. Well done.
Great, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ben.
Look forward to seeing it happen.
Likewise.
Yeah,
All right.
that's-
Yeah.
Thanks
Great.
again. Have a good night.
Sure, you too. Thanks. Good night. Okay,
We're so efficient tonight. Jeez.
well, 3 items, you know. Okay, and we only have one set of minutes from September 10th. Does anyone have any issue with them?
I'm happy to address the minutes.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Please do, Mr. Secretary.
And I read
The minutes
through.
master.
That's a big surprise.
Well, I read through and I think they are just fine. I was, as I was signing in, just in general commentary here, I was asked to approve an AI subtext of some sort going on here. I'm not sure what that is, but you probably all had the same thing, I imagine. Is that what the minutes are based on at this point? Does anyone know? No, doesn't matter. I said yes. Here we are. I thought that there was a suspicion of a slight flair to the prose in this particular version. So I'm in favor of approving as submitted.
Excellent. Thank you. All in favor of approving the minutes? Aye. You do this one. Okay, ayes have it, 5-0. And I'm just going to mention one thing that Tim and I talked about, that Ann and I have talked about. Right now, we have 2 vacancies on the HDC. And is that right? Or 1? Anyway, we have a vacancy. We think we're about to fill it. I'm submitting an application for somebody that Tim had recommended, who we've both spoken with and I think would be very good. But then, of course, we have at least 2 more vacancies opening up in January when Dennis thinks he's going to leave.
Yeah, finally.
And Melinda too. So
You can't, Dennis.
So Tim and I hope you will all think about prospective candidates. I asked somebody the other day who turned us down, but not because we're us, because she had just been reappointed to another commission in town. This is Jennifer Brook, who is a well-regarded landscape architect. And she says, but she did add, I would absolutely join the HDC if I wasn't already on the Commission on Disability, which she's just re-upped. But she says, and I thought I would share this, thank you all for your work on the HDC. I know everyone loves to hate the commission, but in the matters of everyday life, it might seem like the work can be meaningless to people, but without historic preservation efforts for a very long time, the evidence and subsequent perspective on our surroundings would not exist. So that was kind of a nice way of looking at things. So thank you for persisting, she adds. So we didn't get her, but we got a nice perspective from Jennifer. So that's it. We just wanted to make that little pitch for looking for some prospective members, because there was this nice period where we actually had a solid 10 members for a few years. And it certainly made Kim and Ann's job a little easier, because it was very, very rare that we didn't have quorum. And now we're always sort of skating up against the edge. That's about it. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share with the class?
I just have a quickie. The first applicant, I just hope they understood us. It always concerns me that, new businesses and they're trying to sort it out with us, and are they, there's a language difficulty, and I'm just wondering, I think you said all the right things. I just hope they know that they need to contact Anne if there's confusion about what we were saying, so that they're getting guidance, so Anne can interpret what we were saying if they didn't understand what we were saying. I know where I'm going with this, but that's just like I don't want them to come back and still be equally confused. Not
No, I
confused,
agree.
but not getting what we're trying to do here and stuff.
Yeah, no, in kind of trying to convey that a couple of different ways, I did mention sort of toward the end a few times, like, just call the office with any questions, don't, call someone who can make signs, or call the office first and they can give you a name or, answer some questions. So that's all we can do beyond, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, the one thing that could be done is not to create a hell of a lot more work for you, Ann, but if we sent out a letter just listing what the questions were for clarification, it might be easier on him.
Right, I was thinking it could be proactive and reach out to him.
Yeah, just
I guess that's where I was going, is could we do this where somebody like that and could reach out and say, come in and talk.
Yeah, no,
So there's somebody, because they just might not have heard you when you said, I don't know, So I like the proactive idea.
Yeah,
I think it's a good idea.
I mean, that's okay to do if, Ann can do it.
Certainly an appropriate times.
Yeah, no, I agree. That would be nice to, not have standings in 3 weeks.
This is a case of an aesthetic that's common with a particular business facing up against the historic needs of the community.
Yeah.
Obviously, what it presented is what beauty parlors usually do, or nail places have.
Yes, yeah, it was a little challenging to try to explain that in a
Right,
condensable.
yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, go look at other signs, but
Here, I'm just continuing to think of stupid things to raise, but the other, I just wondered, has there been any, Anne flagged out saying, it'd be nice to tighten up the sign commentary as a quickie so that people understand what we're looking for in her meeting comments, whatever she the agenda notes. And so I'm just wondering if there's been any advancement on that. There were a bunch of topics, and I know Bill was working on it a bit, but
Yeah, I think we need to get back to, was it Bill? Someone else is volunteering to help him, right?
the Kristen,
Yeah, maybe it's Chris. They were both going to work on it, so maybe we just have to light a little fire under them to see if they get back to it.
yeah, you want to give him a nudge, Tim?
sure.
Because I think it definitely, I know it was definitely Bill, but I think it was also Kristen who said she would help.
Yeah, there's one other person that was going to work on it. I think it was Kristen.
Very good, Kristen. Well, it just
It
became
wasn't any of us, so.
became
And it
Kristen.
wasn't
so that was-
Bill, and there's 2 vacancies, so that narrows it down.
Yeah. All right, Tim, what else you got?
I can't think of anything.
Okay, good night.
Okay, wait.
We
I
have
need a
vote
motion to adjourn, Dennis.
resolve ourselves. I move that we
I
adjourn.
move that we quit.
Second.
Not quit, but
All in favor?
All in
All in favor, good night.
Thank you very much.